Amazon Game Studios will assume control of any potential sequel to 007 First Light, which was developed by Hitman series creator IO Interactive. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough to say this series is over before it began.
Oh, yeah. We such high hopes after First Light. So much potential. Now flushed down the toilet. Maybe. I guess we're being a little cynical, but really, Amazon Game Studios does not have the best track record at this point of making and shipping games. But we should be positive, right? Yay! 20 years of 007 games, I'm certain.
Yeah, Amazon crushed all our hopes and dreams for a proper James Bond video game franchise in a statement to Polygon, wherein Amazon Gaming General Manager Jeff Gaddis stated that any possible sequels to 007 First Light would be, quote, done by MGM and theoretically by Amazon Game Studios. Oh no.
Yeah, this does not make me feel good. That sentence does not make me feel good. This unfortunate wrinkle, this is a big wrinkle, is happening thanks to corporate acquisitions, of course, our favorite. IO Interactive both developed and published 007 First Light through a deal they arranged before Amazon's 2022 acquisition of MGM Studios. And so now that Amazon owns the James Bond IP, seems they have other plans for it.
Yeah, which I guess means not making movies ever. Damn, that's what's so annoying. When these things enter this era of massive money, suddenly everything just stops happening. Anyway, Gaddis went on to theorize that their future treatment of James Bond could span mediums. Yes, remember transmedia? It's back. Which would mean coordinated releases that would benefit from, well, again, theoretically benefit from first-party production.
Yeah, Gaddis, or as I call him, Mr. Gaddies, said, "We do see this continued integration of video and movies and video games where that line is becoming much more blurry. We think that's a real opportunity for us to create IP that extends or kind of expands upon TV shows and movies. So there will be a Tomb Raider TV show on Prime Video that'll go alongside the games. There's a lot of things we have in the works on new games that'll relate to Prime Video IP." Blech.
Yeah, I hate this shit. This shit makes me so angry. I hate listening to these fucking executives talk like they know what they're fucking talking about, like they can make shit. Man, look, it could be great. It could be great. I've seen it be great, but only a couple times.
Yeah, I agree. It's prime tech hubris to think that just because you have infinite money that you can whip up good creative projects out of the ether. And that's what I think we've seen out of a lot of Amazon studios, a lot of tech trying to get into games is they try to hire the big names and then they just backfill hundreds of developers. And then shockingly, they're unable to ship a product after 5 years.
However, I am cool if they want to put 007 into New World, if that means New World can be saved, which is a good thing Amazon Studios made. Just, I don't know, put a 007 skin in it. But yeah, in an eerily similar situation, the next Tomb Raider game, Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, is being co-developed by longtime series developers Crystal Dynamics.
All right, Amazon acquired the rights to Tomb Raider from Embracer Group in early 2023, so even if Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis is good and sells a ton, Amazon may want to shift that franchise to Amazon Game Studios after the game ships. Okay.
Yeah, which I guess also means we'll never play another Tomb Raider game. Luckily, though, at least we got one more. Crystal Dynamics has at least one more in the oven. They're cooking up, Tomb Raider Catalyst, which they announced at the same time as Legacy of Atlantis, which is their third remake of the original Tomb Raider game. Blah. So this one's meant to be a sequel to Tomb Raider Underworld of all the games. It gets weird. Anyway, that game was originally set for 2027, but now that Legacy of Atlantis is coming out in 27, that might get nudged back. Who knows? But at least we have 2 more Tomb Raider games on the way. That's the thing to take away.
Yeah, Amazon Game Studios might not be the best steward, believe it or not, for the further adventures of Laura and James. As a publisher, Amazon struggled to find successes with games like Crucible and King of Meat, launching to no audiences and going offline weeks after. Yeah, not very good.
Yeah, they just canceled a Lord of the Rings game too. As a developer, Amazon Game Studios they struggled to ship at all. The only somewhat successful game they made was 2021's New World, which was actually pretty good. Yeah, Brian played it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And it received its last content update in late 2025. It'll go offline for good in January of 2027, and we'll say a big 07 to New World.
Until that Bond skin hits, and then the player numbers are going back up, revenue's going back up, rehiring everybody, throwing that big switch back to on so all the gas generators fire up and the game's back to life, baby. Again, we can hope, all right? There's too much cynicism out there, right? Yeah.
James Bond in the tuxedo in a medieval setting on an island will just be perfect. It'll just turn into Fortnite.
mud-covered dudes in metal Spaniard hats being like, who's this guy? Yeah, in terms of the like context of this story, this stings a little more. There's like a narrative here for longtime fans of IO Interactive, like I think a lot of us are, who hoped that First Light would kick off a whole new Bond franchise that would stay at the studio that kicked it off, and would be able to see this grand narrative vision. But instead, I guess they're getting the Martin Campbell treatment. Dude comes in, he saves Bond with GoldenEye and then with Casino Royale, and then immediately onto a new director who tanks it into the ocean as fast as possible.
IO Interactive shared on Instagram that 007 First Light hit 1.5 million sales in the first 24 hours. This game deserves it, let me tell you. Alenia Analytics predicted 2.2 million sales and $150 million in revenue as of yesterday. So that's great for this 007 First Light video game.
So let's never make another one again. Yeah, so that inches the game closer to breaking a profit already, as according to the Danish broadcasting company, the project took 7 years and 1.3 billion Danish krona, or $202 million to develop, which is a fifth of a Star Citizen.
And yet it's here and we can play it.
Yeah, that's true.
Additional fun fact, this also means that 007 First Light is Denmark's most expensive cultural product ever in the history of mankind. So there it is, First Light. Good job, Denmark.
Dang, and they made Legos.
It's a great cultural product. It really is. This story is heartbreaking. When I read this, I was just like shattered for the developers at IO Interactive, because I will say a long time ago when IO Interactive released Hitman, I guess their Hitman reboot, and then they're like, we're going to do episodic Hitman releases. And I was like, oh, fuck, that sucks. I don't want to see any of that. That sounds like just a terrible idea. We don't want Hitman as a service. And they've nailed it. IO Interactive has literally done almost perfect what they should have done with Hitman. And I was looking forward to seeing that with 007 First Light, with their tax sim, and just seeing even new DLC episodes that are tacking on to that awesome James Bond origin story. They've started a fantastic origin story with amazing characters, and Amazon's gonna shit all over it. I'm like, it's like such a fucking bummer. This is one time people really knocked it out of the park with James Bond, and I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, it's just the worst.
Yeah, I'm thinking through this. I'm trying to like imagine a good future. I guess there is a slim possibility that Amazon Game Studios still just works out a deal with IO Interactive for another game. But I don't know. I kind of mentioned it earlier. There's that tech hubris that hasn't gone away yet, where I feel like they think, especially now that they have a template, like they have a successful product out on the market, I bet that Gaddis or anyone at Amazon thinks quite falsely that they can just say to any studio in the world that they throw enough money at, make another version of this and make it good, and that they will. And I would like to hope that the last like 5 or 6 years of them kind of trying to do that hasn't worked out. Because gosh, yeah, they've done what Google did and what a lot of tech companies do, which is like cherry pick these sort of like kind of like cult of celebrity producers and stuff to come and helm projects. Those producers hire all of their friends. They kick up their dream project, and then they spend 3 years not really driving towards a finish line or a product. Really, it seems like, and then the project just gets canceled and everybody just kind of scatters to the wind after soaking up as much Amazon money as they could. It almost seems like that's kind of the way to retire as a game dev. If you've earned your stripes, you don't retire on game revenue. You retire on getting a lot of tech money to make a project that you never actually intend to ship. That's me getting pretty fully conspiratorial at this point, but I've seen this cycle happen enough times that it's starting to add up. So what worries me is that that's what this is going to be. You're going to get a lot of seasoned developers with 4 or 5 games on their resume shipped. Amazon's going to throw a lot of money at a new studio to say, this is the Bond studio. This studio is going to make Bond games and only Bond games, and they're going to be so good at making Bond games. And then that studio will make nothing for 5 years and then eventually close. Or they'll rebrand and choose to do a remake of a game that's already been made, and then they will fail to do that. Now I'm just thinking of Halo Studios specifically, but yeah, I don't like where this is going. I don't weep for Amazon wasting money because they're pretty good at doing that. I just weep for the lack of good Bond games, which we just got out of a desert of, and now it seems like we're going right back into one.
I also wonder too if, because First Light is getting good reviews, that it's got a success aura, in any corporation, it's like the old success has a million fathers. Like everybody now is jumping in and like it's going to get committed to death. And everybody's, no, let's do this. And everybody wants to jump in and sort of be part of a success. This feels like why people hate what has happened to Star Wars too. It's like a big company takes over the IP, it gets committed to death, and then you have all these sort of spin-off things of varying qualities. Like I loved Andor, I love some of the new stuff, but there's also a lot of crap too. And it feels like they're trying to do that with 007, which you're squandering, I think, a chance to relaunch this for a younger audience that isn't like boomers and Gen Xers, so younger people can get into this. Just make good games. It's not that hard. Make good games. The success will follow.
I'm going to say this to our audience. Clip this and send it to anybody at Amazon Game Studio. Or if you work at Amazon Game Studio, send it to your boss. If you are the CEO of Amazon Game Studio, you will make more money if you let IO Interactive make the game underneath Amazon Game Studio. Give them a cut, whatever, 70%, you take 30 and you do nothing. I promise you'll make more money if you let IO Interactive develop the game for the next 10 years versus if you think you're like, oh, we'll just copy it. We'll just copy 007 First Light. How hard could it be? IO Interactive has been making that game for 30 years. Like, you can't do it. I promise you can't do it, CEO. Just take their cash. It's really easy.
And speaking of taking cash, hey, thank you for watching Inside Games here. We haven't been acquired by Amazon just yet. Still looking at the email. Nothing in the inbox, but hey, maybe tomorrow. But for now, we still appreciate your view greatly because, yeah, we don't have that Amazon money. So thank you very much for watching. We appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. Recommend us to a friend as well. If you want more of our content, because we've been making a lot these days, thanks to Brian and Shuklin just kicking it into overdrive. Check out our Patreon because we post everything there for free. It's not just loads of paywalls and stuff. It's just a long list of everything we do. And free memes. I attach a meme to every post, so it's a long list of memes and free videos, so please enjoy. But despite that, some people still support us directly, so we'll shout them out now. Thank you for the support, Tito007, pretty fitting. Null Test, Aristotle Cabot Boris, Pitstrip, and Rook. You're our own personal M's. Never thought about saying that plural. It's kind of weird. I guess there never was more than one at a time, huh?
Call them our Qs. They're our Qs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's much more fun. Y'all can be our Qs, setting off flamethrowers and ejecto seats.